How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another live stream. And today's stream will be just about Friday the 13th. As you guys can tell, I got it all. So what I'm gonna be doing from now on, I'm gonna be basically we're gonna be talking about different movies and all that. Like, but to say like after this, I talk about Child's Play. Well, I'll have like a Child's Play background. But since we're on the topic of Friday the 13th, today I have a Friday the 13th background. Um, so just wait for some people to get in here, and I'm just gonna basically start talking about the the Friday the 13th TV series um, that is going to be getting released. Um, Interestingly enough, it's going to be streaming on Peacock, so that's going to be really interesting. Um, and um, I don't know when. I think they said in 2024. I believe that's when it comes out. I believe. Um, that's what I believe, anyways. But I think that there is a chance. There's definitely a chance that it could come out maybe a little earlier, but I highly doubt that. I think that we're going to get it 2024. That's what they said. So um, now I'm just going to basically talk about maybe like a possible like film, like the possibility of like a film. All right. Um, so I just think that after this movie or after this TV show, I think that they're going to go like think about making another film. Now, how long will that be? That probably won't be for a while, I'm assuming. Um, but I know that they're probably going to eventually somebody down the road is definitely going to make a film. Um, that's just what I think personally, but you really never know at this point. So it's just one of those things where anything could really happen. I guess you have the TV series, obviously, which I would have preferred a movie over over a TV series, but I really don't mind them doing a TV series because it shows that they're actually bringing it back, and maybe they will do a movie, eventually, like you know, um, after they could make a TV series. That's what I'm assuming anyway, or a movie. Excuse me. I keep on going back. Sorry, I can't talk. Um, I think they could make a movie after the TV series after they're finished with the TV series. Um, Depending on how long they go. So I definitely think that's possible, and I've also said that Kane Hodder as well could also come back, which I've talked about that as well. But um, like I said, we're gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for some people to get in here, and I'm just gonna basically just be rambling on about the Friday the 13th franchise. That's what the stream is about today. Um, so basically, gonna talk about Friday the 13th franchise. Talk about like all the movies in general, like the ones that I'm just gonna talk about them all. So I think the most underrated Friday the 13th franchise or movie. I said franchise. Sorry. The most underrated Friday the 13th film is without a doubt Jason Takes Manhattan. And the reason why I think that movie is just so hated on is because, you know, people expected him to be in New York most of the movie, which I understand. Like, I understand like why people didn't, necessarily. Um, I get why people necessarily didn't like that film just because of that, because it was called Jason Takes Manhattan, and people figured that he would be in the movie or they would be in New York, um, the whole film instead of like one half of the film them being on a cruise ship. Everybody was expecting them to be in New York like the whole film. So I think that's the reason why people didn't really like it because I originally heard that people would have preferred them to call it Jason Takes a Cruise Ship, which yeah, I mean that's cool. That would have been awesome. That would have been you know a great title because they would have fit. But I actually like the movie. I think it's the most underrated Friday the 13th film in the franchise by far. And a lot of people just don't like the fact that, like I said, they're on a boat one half of the film, and then the second half they're in New York, but because they figured that they would be in New York like the whole film. So, I mean, I can understand that, but for me, I kind of like I was saying, I kind of just go back and say that I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. I actually like the movie, the film. I like the way Jason looks. I like how he's like all slimy and all that. I like his look. Definitely one of the most underrated looks, I believe, in the franchise. Um, so yeah, so I think Jason Takes Manhattan's underrated. I enjoyed that film. I enjoyed the kills and all that. Pretty entertaining. And then another underrated film, which you guys already know, is none other than Jason X. Now, Jason X is another reason. Like a lot of people hate it just because of the location again. People didn't like that he went to space. But at the same time, I actually enjoyed Jason's look in that movie. I enjoyed his look. I enjoyed the kills, all that stuff. Like, so I didn't have a problem with him not being in the movie or anything like that. Or I didn't have a problem with. Sorry, guys, I can't talk today. Sorry about that. I meant to say, take two. I meant to say that I didn't mind him being in a different location. Like I didn't mind him being in space or anything like that because it's something new. We don't always have to be in Crystal Lake. Just what I mean. We don't always have to just be in Crystal Lake. We could change it up. So I kind of like that idea. Same with the Jason Takes Manhattan, where he goes to New York and all that. Like, I mean, I don't mind that. I think that's pretty cool. I think okay, and Jason X, his look, the location, um, the kills, all that stuff is just so unappreciated, so hated on. And okay, look, I understand. There were some moments in the movie where I was like, damn, that's cheesy. Okay, but every movie, like I said, is gonna have some cheesiness, and not every movie is gonna be perfect. So I always tell people that not every movie is gonna be perfect like they want. Um, because every movie is just gonna be not like any movie that is made is it can't be perfect 100%. They're gonna have some mistakes and whatnot in the middle of the movie, and of course that's just what happens. And I understand why people don't really like it because I do find that one scene to be a little cheesy. Um, when she basically, I'm not gonna say when she basically that girl gets her head chopped off or whatever, but yet she was like still talking. So I understand that people found that to be kind of weird, and I did too because when you get your head chopped off, you're dead. You can't talk unless you're like Freddy or something. But that's about it. Other than that, yeah, I don't find that to be like I don't find that to be like credible or anything. I think that it's honestly just dumb in my eyes. That's just my honest opinion about it. Like I really do think that it's dumb, and I think that a lot of people just give it shit, for that reasoning, and I understand. But again, it goes back to what I just said. Every movie, you know, not every film is gonna be perfect. All movies have their problems, and they're not gonna be perfect. But so yeah, Jason X is an underrated film in my eyes. Now I'm gonna talk about Friday the 13th. Um, Jason Goes to Hell, right? Now that movie is actually my least favorite. Okay, and the reason why Jason Goes to Hell is my worst favorite or my least favorite is because it's for the simple fact of because he wasn't in it. That's one number one reason. He was only in it for like 5 minutes and then gets blown up. So it's not really a Friday the 13th film, because he gets blown up like 5 minutes in. So that's the reason why I didn't really like it, because it wasn't him, doing the kills or anything like that. It was people, like, basically like his soul was like getting inside of other people, like, so it's kind of weird. I don't understand that, honestly. You know, you could say it's the character and all that. I don't think it's the character. I think that's just absolutely just bogus. You know, um, and I just felt like Kane Hodder to me was just wasted in that movie big time. Like I feel like that he's wasted big time in this film. He was it was a missed opportunity for him, and I felt like they did him dirty because he didn't get enough, he didn't have time to really do any work because he got, he basically, the character got blew up like within 5 minutes. So yeah, like I just think that like Friday the 13th, Friday the 13th, Jason Goes to Hell is just the worst by far because again, he wasn't in it. And I always go back to say like what's the point? What is the point of calling that Friday the 13th film if he's not going to be in it at all? You know what I mean? So that, like, what's the point of that? People want to see the character do the kills, not, these random human beings that get possessed by him. Like, it's just like that. No, people want to see the character. People want to see the guy with the hockey mask do the killing, not these human beings. So that's all my problem is. Like people pay their money to see the character, and then he wasn't even in the movie that much. So that's the reason why it's my least favorite. Uh, oh, we got a guest here. Oh, how's it going, Blanca? We're just talking about Friday the 13th. You know, just kind of talking about the franchise. Just talking about basically how Jason Goes to Hell is my least favorite for the simple fact of because Jason wasn't in it. Like I was basically explaining why I didn't like it, why it's my least favorite in the franchise. Um, I don't know how you feel about it, but I just feel like it's worse in the franchise just because of Jason not being in it and it being named Friday the 13th. You would expect the character to be in it, for the whole film, but wasn't the case. People want to see what they want to see. Yeah, yep, for sure. I just think that do I have my concerns about it about the TV series? I mean, no. If it's a movie, then probably because we all know the way Hollywood is. They tend to like ruin films and just rehash the same stuff. So The remake is the worst because it was goofy entertainment. I don't agree with that. I just don't agree with that. I just think because the reason why I say Jason Goes to Hell is the worst in the franchise is because at least the remake had Jason in it, like the whole time, you know. And Jason Goes to Hell didn't have a minute. It had a minute, like what, like for 5 minutes, and that was it. Then they blew him up. And then he wasn't in the film, but then he comes back like at the end of the film. But it's like, what's the point? Why not have him in the whole film when you call it Friday the 13th? You know what I mean? Like, the whole point is to see the character do the killing. It's not, like I said, these human beings. You know, like, so that's the reason why I think it's the worst. That's why I think it is, anyways. I mean, the kills, okay. The kills are entertaining. The kills are entertaining, but it's not the character. You could say it is the character just because, you know, Jason basically got inside of them and all that, but I don't see that being the case. I don't think that it was the character. Like, unless he was wearing the hockey mask, unless they had the, you know, the machete and all that. Like, no one cared who actually in it. They just want to get started with mentioning it. Yeah, but for me, I need to have Jason in. You know, you name a film Friday the 13th. Best believe I'm expecting Jason to be in it. You know what I mean? That's my whole problem with it. Like, people want to see good kills, yes, and I'm not saying that there wasn't any good kills in that film. There was good kills, but again, it wasn't the character. You know, and I think Kane Hodder, he was wasted in the film, big time. Like, he didn't get any time, any work. You know, he only got 5 minutes worth of work, and then he came back. Like I said, Jason comes back at the end. You know, and that's it. You know, and I will say the best part probably is, you know, when Freddy, you know, at the end, you see Jason's mask in the sand or whatever, but you see like Freddy's glove like come and grab it. I think that's the only best part, like when you see Freddy's glove, you know. But other than that, it's just not. I'm sorry, man. I just can't be down with that. Like, of course, it's not as bad. Let's say it's like Halloween 3 or anything. And like I said, I don't want to get too much off topic of, you know, Friday the 13th, but I don't think it's as bad as that because at least we saw Jason, at least, you know. But it's not a movie that I just automatically just turn off. I actually somewhat enjoyed the kills and all that, but it's just not. It doesn't feel like a Friday the 13th film. Like, Friday the 13th started with Jason. Took like 3 or 4, but I mean, I guess you do have a point because yeah, in the first Friday the 13th, it started with Pamela, and then the second one, you know, it kind of um, that's when Jason came into picture. But at the same time, you know, all the other movies before Jason Goes to Hell, though, that's my thing. You had him in all those other movies, but you didn't have him in Jason Goes to Hell that much. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. Like, that's kind of a good point, but at the same time, I just don't. I mean, I like the soundtrack. The soundtrack to Jason Goes to Hell is probably one of the best. But I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could be down with. Okay, I don't hate it. Hate it. I do think it's the worst in the franchise. Yes, because everybody's expecting them in it. But I don't know, man. The kills were good, but it's just I don't know. It's just not really for me, I guess. That's some, somewhat. The idea is they wanted to dominate a crossover. They needed to set up why Jason would mix with Hellraiser. Oh, okay. Yeah, they that makes sense. And to be honest, it is pretty entertaining the way Intervision sadly didn't come to me. Oh. And we had to settle with Freddy vs. Jason. Yeah, and I didn't mind that movie. The only problem that I had with Freddy vs. Jason is that, Kane Hodder wasn't in it. He wasn't doing the stunt work for Jason. And I feel like, Kane Hodder is the best Jason. I think he's overall the best Jason. The best. He does the best like stunt work. Basically, Jason Goes to Hell was a setup. Jason being a version for people who got loose. Oh, okay. Yeah, and the best part about Jason Goes to Hell, I will say, is probably the soundtrack, the kills, and also, the look of Jason in that movie is just so like just wasted. The look of Jason in that movie would have been that look looks so fucking cool. I love that look. But if he was utilized more, it would have been even better, you know. Um, but yeah, I think the best parts are probably Jason's look, obviously, and then um, the soundtrack, the kills and all that. But and then Freddy's glove, that was probably the best moment, one like the best moment when you see Freddy's glove. Blanking in Woodley Con and oh yeah, Cenobites. Yep, Cenobites. I won't try to argue Jason as a man. Yeah, I understand. I mean, a lot of people have their opinions and all that. I respect your opinion. You know, but the idea for it was set up something that could have forgiven the movie. Yeah, yeah, you're right. Like I said, everybody's got their own, everybody's got their own opinions. I will say, I think it's one of the best soundtracks, in the franchise. So can you imagine Jason versus Pendant versus Freddy? Yeah, I think Jason would win. I think Jason would easily win that matchup. I mean, Freddy. I mean, you could say Freddy could win, but I think Jason would win just because he's unstoppable. He can't die, and I don't see Ash or Pinhead killing him, or even Freddy. I mean, Freddy possibly could because I think that would be cool. Let's just say if we got like a rematch between Jason and Freddy, like a Jason versus Freddy part 2 or something like that. And we actually got like Kane Hodder or something, and they got a rematch, but like Freddy ends up like getting close to like winning, but he like gets revenge. Pretty sure Jason would always be filmed to lose. Just how they did it in Freddy vs. Jason. Yeah, yeah, that's what they kind of tricky with that. Um, Freddy versus Jason. I don't know what your opinions are about the film, but I actually like that film. I think Freddy versus Jason is an overall great film. It's just like my problem is the stuntman. And the look of Jason doesn't really. That's not really like my favorite look of him. I thought that look that was in Jason Goes to Hell should have been. That look should have been the look that Jason had when he faced Freddy. You know. That's my personal opinion. So I'm late. I'm very tired because my dog kept me and my fans. Oh, it's all right, man. What's up, Scott Walker? The question is, what would Jason do? What would Jason do if he came across another killer without the influence of survivors? I don't know. Actually, that's a really good question. I have no idea. So the question is, what would Jason do if he came across? I really don't know. That is a good question. I mean, do you have an explanation for that? Like, do you what do you think? I mean, I don't really know. That's kind of a hard question to answer, honestly. All right, Scott. We're gonna be like I said. We're just gonna stay on topic with Friday the 13th. Like I said, this is a Friday the 13th stream. We're just gonna keep it that way. But yeah, I would love to see that as well. I feel like from Brian Jason and all of his solo movies is written to be a mindless killer, but in Freddy vs. Jason, he was written. So I feel like from the writing, Jason and all the solo movies is written to be a mindless killer, and Freddy vs. Jason, he was written to be anti-hero. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think Jason. Yeah, it seemed like Jason was more of like a hero, and Freddy was more of the villain. So it was pretty much a guaranteed win for Jason. That's the way I felt too, because he was like getting manhandled by Freddy, like some of the movie, like some parts of the movie, like he was just getting manhandled by him, like, and it seemed like Freddy was just like the bully, like. You said you're playing to BS me about doesn't that Friday the 13th remake 2009? Too much sex in that movie. Um, no. And Scott Walker, again, I keep on telling you, you got to quit trolling people, all right? I don't want you to keep on spamming the chat. You keep on doing that, I'm gonna put you in timeout. All right. I keep on telling you, don't be trolling the chat. What kind of question is that? What kind of question is your place if you ask me about doesn't Friday the 13th remake 2009 too much sex in the movie? Like what kind of question is that? Seriously. You're a pretty strange person. I could see why people block you. And I think I'm about to do it here in a minute. Like there are moments in Friday vs. Jason where I've been to kill people, but when they do something like poke him, he takes an attack and goes into Jason. Oh, yeah, that's actually kind of crazy because yeah, like it seemed like Freddy was basically like the bully, like, and it seemed like Jason was like a whiny little kid and all that, like a kid that just cries, and Freddy was just like bullying him, like. I forget who had the idea, but making Freddy and Jason's father would be a great Great story. Yeah, I don't know. I think Jason's father is actually Elias, but yeah, that would have been. But I do think that Freddy was involved with. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't Freddy involved in the older movies as well? Wasn't he the one that basically drowned? Wasn't he a part of like the drowning of Jason in Crystal Lake when the counselors basically, didn't help him or anything? Like, wasn't that Freddy? Wasn't Freddy the one that was drowning him, or was it? Because I thought Freddy was involved with the story somehow. Like, yeah, the Friday the 13th movies. Which one is your favorite? Scott Walker, I keep on telling you, dude. I don't feel like telling you over and over and over. Okay, I will block you. I'm being serious. I don't want to do that to anybody, but I'm gonna do that if you keep this up. Like seriously, this is weird. All right, you don't have to act. This is why. This is why you get blocked into other streams. It's because the way you act in the chats here. You act so weird. You ask so much weird questions. Okay, and people don't like that shit. Sorry for cussing, but people don't like that. You know, I want you here. I want everybody here. I want everybody to get along with each other. I want everybody to have a good time. And I don't want to be, a dickhead to people, but if I have to be, that's the way it's going to have to be because this is my channel, my rules, and I don't want anybody to be trolling the chat, you know? So I don't know what kind of question that is. We're on the topic of Friday the 13th, and I don't know um, what kind of question that is. You said Animal the front of the 30th. Like, I don't understand. I don't know what that movie is. Like, we're on the topic of Friday the 13th. And sorry about that, Blucko. And I just had to tell Scott there a little bit. What month do you think Jason's favorite kill? What month? I would probably say probably around the summer because obviously summer camp and all that when people are in camp because nobody's in camp in the fall. So I think the summer is when he likes to kill the most. So probably around like June, July-ish. That's what I'm thinking, anyways, because um that's mostly when people um that's mostly when people come into the camp. When like kids, all that stuff come into the camp and like usually in the summer and all that. So that's basically when he starts to kill. So I'm gonna say the summer probably. It's probably his most favorite like month of killing because you know it makes a lot of sense. Because him killing in the fall, I mean that really wouldn't make any sense. I think him killing in the summer and all that makes a lot more sense because the Friday the 13th movies are actually going to be called summer camp way before they called it Friday the 13th. So Jason looked like he has the longest neck known to man that picture you have. Oh, yeah, this is the Jason. There's my background here is actually the the remake Jason, obviously, and you obviously know that, but the neck, yeah, the neck is pretty large, and I think this is who is the stunt man that played the remake Jason? I forget his name, but he's pretty tall. I think he's like 6'9", I believe. But yeah, he's got a pretty large neck in this film for sure. Probably the longest neck. Probably, I think this Jason probably had the longest neck by far. But yeah, I just think Friday the 13th. Now, do you agree? Um, why everybody hating on Scott? Because again, I guess he's been somewhat trolling chats on the past few months or whatever. I guess he's been trolling the chats the last like few weeks. And on Night Stream, on Craven Stream, he's been known to like stalk people. He stalked what's her name, Jamie, I believe, on there on the chats, and he's being overly weird with his questions and all that. Craven, the night they all had to block him because he was being weird in the chat. So I don't hate him or anything like that, but he's being a troll in a lot of ways, with his questions. Like, why does he have to be weird for? Like, I just find him to be weird, and that's why Craven and the basically had to block him because he was basically being weird towards, I think, what to other people in the chat. Your absence getting a new heel. Like I said, man, I don't like being mean to anybody. You know, I'm a nice guy. I try to be the nicest guy that I can be. But when you start, doing weird shit like that in the chat, and you start asking these weird ass questions, and you start trolling and all that shit, that becomes a problem to me because you know, I am a, basically, I have rules on this channel, because I told him that we're on the topic of Friday the 13th, and he goes on and asks me another question about other movies. It's like I just told you we're on Friday the 13th. This is a Friday the 13th stream. Like, so he's just a weird person. And I think he actually changed his account too. So he changed his account to another. He like totally changed his name and all that, like this, so that he could troll other people on other chats. So definitely not dealing with that today. Then the horror community becoming the episode of Jerry Springer. Hey man, I'm sorry, but hey. Every now and then you need to get troll and sounds of a good break. And serious discussions. Yeah, but at the same time, that I don't like that here. Nobody likes that. Everybody wants to have fun and ask questions. Ask good questions. Nobody that people like that are the reason why the community. The reason why the community is bad at times. He's one of the he's a person that basically ruins the community. You know what I mean? Like, And hey, man, I'm a nice guy, but I have rules, and I have rules on this channel. Everybody's got rules. You got to think by now, most people have been through majority of discussions with the franchise at the time. Yeah, yeah. I mean, but again, like I was explaining, like I said, I don't want to be too much on topic about this, but like I said, when you start trolling people, okay, because what he was doing again, what he was on the other chats, like a night stream, I believe, and Craven streams, and he was basically trolling other people in the chat, basically like acting all weird towards them and asking them like weird questions and all that. And actually, I don't know if you know who Jamie Hart is, the girl in the chat. She's usually in the chats all the time and Craven streams and night streams. But yeah, she had to block him because he was basically acting weird, and they had to block him as well. And night and so I think you have to take care of people like that. You can't let them do that. Had to come up with a question that hasn't been explored. Well, discuss. Ask me anything. About Friday the 13th. We could just have a discussion. You could just bring up a discussion point. You don't have to bring up other movies or, you know, because that's what Scott was doing. Scott was bringing up other movies. I'm not saying you were. I'm just saying he was bringing up other movies. And I told him that this is a Friday the 13th stream, so it's got to be Friday the 13th related. Yeah, I'm not sure what he did because I told it. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you took a break, so you don't even know. But yeah, that's what happened the past few weeks. He's basically been trolling people, so you got to look out for him in the chat. Um, and if he does troll anybody in the chat at all, if he trolls you and he says anything weird to you, just let me know, and I'll take care of him. All right. I'm actually I have my eye in the chat right now, so I gotta say remove it. You gotta stage or movies you're cutting. Oh. But yeah, like I said, I don't want to be in the topic of this forever. We're gonna start talking about Friday the 13th again. But yeah, I just wanted to let you know that, because he's a very weird dude. I don't know what he's trying to do. I don't know if he's a troll or not. I don't know what his intentions are, but the questions that he asks are just weird, you know. Do you think Friday the 13th would be better if they focused on the survivor? No. I mean, if they focus on, let's say, like both, maybe like Jason and a survivor, but I don't think just a survivor is going to make a good Friday the 13th film. Well, if you mean that if they're going to do like, let's say, like a Jason versus Tommy Driver scenario, I don't know if you mean that, but I think that would be a good idea, like a Tommy Jarvis type story or something, like just about Tommy Jarvis and Jason or something. Like I think that would be actually pretty cool. So I don't know what you mean, like, um, and Jason versus Tommy. Yeah, yeah. That's basically I like that idea. I've been saying that that's an idea that I want them to think about. When they start making a movie again, like doing like a Tommy Jarvis versus Jason like storyline where it's just about Jason and Tommy. You know, like Halloween and Scream have their main survivors. Yeah, yeah. You have Tina, obviously. Tina's a good character, like one of my favorites. Um, I don't remember any of the other ones. Like I said, I'll have to look real quick. Um, Let me get my phone out of my pocket. Sorry about that. But yeah, I'm gonna have to look real quick just to see. Um, I forget like some of the other survivors' names, but Tommy Jarvis is like the main one. Tommy Jarvis didn't die at all, so I think it would be really cool to see a scenario where we see, just a story between Michael or before between Jason and Tommy Jarvis, where they basically the story is just about them two and not anybody else. Like we could even do a movie just about Tommy Jarvis, with Jason involved still, but you could just call it Tommy Jarvis or something. I don't know. Since they don't try to hide Jason being supernatural, would you be interested in the story where they explore how he was revived and where he pulled up? Oh yeah, absolutely. I would love that. I kind of want some explanation and all that. Like I want him to go deeper into that because I don't really know why, how he survives, honestly. And it'd kind of be cool to see like how he keeps on surviving and all that and like why, you know, like why doesn't he die? Like Tina didn't die either, right? Yeah, no, Tina didn't die. She survived. So she's another character that could easily, come back. Um, I think all of the survivors, though, most of the survivors in the Friday the 13th franchise didn't die because they were survivors, and like the main girl or whatever, the main person, like they usually survive. Um, but Tina or whatever didn't die at all. Yeah, she could come back, but she's actually the actor who played her actually came back into a fan film. Um, I think it was the Bloodlines, I believe. I believe it was that she came back in. It was the same actor that was in there, the same actors that were in basically the New Blood came back into this fan film or whatever. So it was pretty cool to see. She was actually basically the replacement for Carrie. Yep, she had similarities to Carrie. Yep, she did. Because every time she basically had like superpowers and all that, like she had like some kind of like every time she looked at Jason, she could like move him and all that, and she basically had powers and all that. Like so, yeah, Carrie. Yeah, that's a really good comparison there. They're both similar. Like she was basically a replacement. Wow, I didn't think about that. But yeah, I don't know why she has power. Like why does she have that kind of power like powers like that? But yeah, I think any of the old characters could come back. I think the girl that was in Friday the 13th part one, I believe, the final girl. I think that she's gonna be coming. she's gonna be involved with the TV series, so that's gonna be pretty cool. Because the story was written for Carrie, but they couldn't come to an agreement for the rights, but the film had already started. Oh yeah, yeah. Um, the story was written for Carrie, but they didn't come to an agreement. Oh, so the story was written for Carrie. Yeah, because that movie was way before the movie Carrie came out. So Carrie kind of took that idea, I think, right, from Friday the 13th is what you're saying. From the Tina character, anyways. So they changed the backstory and character name. Oh, okay. And the rights. Oh, okay, yeah. I think I watched Carrie. That movie's pretty good. But yeah, that's a pretty good comparison there. It's very similar, you know. But yeah, I really do think that it will be a possible. There's a possibility of us possibly seeing, like a Jason versus Tommy Driver storyline where they basically just fight in the whole film. I think that's the one story that I think they should do. Um, and I don't know which actor you prefer to play Tommy Jarvis, but I think I actually like Tom Matthews as Tommy Jarvis personally. But yeah, a lot of people say maybe Corey like Feldman or whatever. But I actually like Tom Matthews as Tommy Jarvis. He's one of my he's like my favorite. I think he played Tommy Jarvis the best personally. But so I don't know which one you prefer, but I think it would be cool to have like Tom Matthews come back again and play Tommy again and do like a storyline where he basically just fights Jason and like the whole film and it's basically nobody else. Like, I mean, you can have some like survivors and all that, but not a whole lot. You can have the story just be about just him and Jason. Um, but yeah, Friday the 13th, Friday the 13th parts. One, the girl, I think her name is Adrienne King, I believe her name is. She was the girl that played. Yeah, she was the final girl in part one. Um, she's actually going to be in the TV series, I believe. They said like she's going to be a part of it, and I think she returned into a fan film as well. So that's pretty interesting. Um, but the main question is, will Kane Hodder return as Jason? Because I always say that I think it's a possibility. I don't think Kane Hodder is too old. I think that he can still play Jason. Honestly, I think he's still in good shape. Right now at his for his age, I think he's almost 70 years old, I believe. Like, and he's still in good shape. So I think that he could come back and do the stunt work for Jason as well again. Um, and he said that he's willing to. So I mean, as long as he's getting paid, he's getting paid with a good amount of money. Like, But yeah, I honestly think that that's very, very possible that, Kane Hodder, could return to the franchise one way or another, like just do the stunt work for, Jason again. Um, that's personally what I think, anyways. But I guess you never say never, I guess. Um, Here, I'm actually gonna play some music here. Let's see what they have. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but let me turn that down just a bit. Okay. All right, we got some music going here. But yeah, I definitely think that Kane Hodder is definitely one of the best stuntmen for Jason, like without a doubt. I really do think that he's one of the best. Um, or he is. I think he is the best personally. Like, okay, CJ Graham is pretty good, pretty good, but I honestly prefer, Kane Hodder as Jason, just because I just feel like he did a better job overall. Um, like I said, just the heart and soul that he puts into it, into his stunt work and all that. Like, um, I'm actually gonna see what other kind of music they have on here. Um, okay, I'm gonna try this out real quick just to see how I like it. But yeah, I never tried music in the background, so. But yeah, I definitely think it's very, very possible that we do get a Tommy Jarvis versus Jason, movie. Like I said, where the story is just about them two. Like, of course, there should be a Friday the 13th film where there's like survivors and all that. But what I'm saying is that I think that there's a possibility of that happening, and I hope that they do think about doing that, because I actually heard Corey Feldman saying that he wants to come back to the franchise, which I think that's pretty cool. But at the same time, I don't know. I kind of prefer, Tom Matthews. Like I said, Tom Matthews is just, there's something about him that I like more. Like, I don't know why, but I just think that he's the one that's in the in the video game or whatever too. So, um, and I honestly like Jason Lives, one of my favorite Friday the 13th films. Um, but yeah, it's definitely going to be pretty interesting. Um, but like I said, yeah, if they do that, they do that idea. Make it to where, um, make it to where there's survivors in the movie, like obviously a normal Friday the 13th film, but like make it about Tommy and Jason. You know, focus on them two more than just as survivors. Obviously, you want to see Jason kill survivors too. And I'm not saying just to take survivors out. I'm just saying it would be pretty interesting to have, call it Friday the 13th, Jason versus Tommy or whatever. I mean, you could call it anything, but that's the storyline that I really want. And I've been saying that that's, the number one storyline that I think would be really cool to see. Like, because Tommy Jarvis is like the hero, he's the one person that hasn't died, and he's still alive from, and maybe we do see a scenario where Jason does end up killing him, for sure, who really knows. But I definitely think that it's very possible that we do get this, I don't really know if they're gonna go that route, but I hope they do because it's something that I've been wanting, and I'm just thinking of new ideas. Um, but I think Tommy Jarvis and Jason, dude, that would just be a good storyline. Like just them two clashing, on the whole film. Like I'm all for that, and maybe we do see, like I said, Tommy Jarvis get killed or something, for the first time. Like maybe he ends up getting killed this time, because obviously, you do gotta kill the old characters at some point. I understand that, like you have to kill the old at some point, but I'd much rather them let him survive. But I think it's very possible that if they do have a storyline with each other, I think that I could totally see a scenario where they, Jason, finally gets the job done and actually kills him this time. Like, um, unlike the other movies where he just basically survives. You know, definitely think that could be a possible scenario. Um, Let me change the music here. But yeah, man, it's definitely going to be pretty interesting, to see where they go with the TV series. Now, the TV series is going to be releasing in 2024 on Peacock. So, um, let me see for sure, though. Um, um, Friday the 13th. TV series. Okay, so release date. So the release date will be, if I remember correctly, it did say 2024. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's 2024. Um, Let me see here. But I thought I saw it say somewhere. Okay, so 1 minute here. I'm actually. Um, so 1 minute, y'all. Sorry, I'm trying to look and see where it says. Um, where it tells me like the release date of the movie or the TV series. Um, Yep. So they're saying that Crystal Lake A24's Friday the 13th series likely premiering in 2024. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Um, that makes a lot of sense. Um, so yeah, 2024 is when it's going to be released. Okay, we got some people in here. How's it going, Tatum? As you know, that we're just talking nothing but Friday the 13th on this stream on tonight. I don't know if you like that franchise or not, but obviously you can hear my music in the background. You know, have a little bit of music. You know, um, how's it going? How you doing? Like I said, I was just talking about the possibility of them possibly doing a film in the future, like after the TV series. I was just talking about them. I have a lot of ideas. Like I said, like a Tommy. My idea would be to have like a Tommy versus like Jason storyline where they basically fight throughout the whole like film. You know. This is you. Thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, smash that like button, everyone. But yeah, I don't know if you see that being a thing, but that's just my idea personally. I think that Tommy Jarvis versus Jason storyline would be so awesome. Because I actually heard Corey Feldman said that he wanted to return, to play Tommy Jarvis, but I don't really know if that's the case or not. But definitely one of those things that could definitely a possibility, I think. And if I was a filmmaker, that would be the one thing I would do is do that storyline, between him and Tommy, Jason and Tommy, like. Tatum, I don't know about tonight. Maybe like I said another time, because this is just designated just for the Friday the 13th talk tonight. So I'll probably have to do it another time. Like I said, you're gonna have to have me on your channel sometime, but sorry about that, but I just like I said, I'm still kind of learning, so. But yeah, what's your thoughts about Friday the 13th? And sorry about that, by the way. Like I said, I just I'm still learning. Yes, sir. Okay. Yeah, sounds good. That sounds perfect. Um, But like I said, I just like, what's your thoughts about Friday the 13th, like as a film? Like, what's your thoughts about it? Like, do you like it at all? Because it's obviously it's my favorites. Um, it's my third favorite. It's probably not like above Halloween or anything, but it's definitely my third favorite, and it's still on my top five. So I don't know if you like it or not, but it's definitely one of those. It's a really good franchise. I think a lot of people prefer, the Friday the 13th over the Halloweens, even just because, of the way Jason kills. It seems like more entertaining. The way he's like ripping people's arms off, the way he's punching people's heads off. A lot of people find that to be more like entertaining. But I definitely think Jason's the more like brutal kill, like the most like brutal horror like villain in slashers, like by far. Like the way he rips, people's arms off. He can punch your head off of Manhattan, do whatever, Um, he can freeze your head and smash it in space. Doesn't matter, man. He's brutal. Like, so I do think that he's the most entertaining like killer. I do like Michael though too. Like Michael's my second favorite, but I'm just saying like some people say that he's like Jason's the most entertaining, which I can understand because he kind of is. As a film, I do like the first two, and I love Manhattan. Yup, I think Jason Takes Manhattan is the most underrated. And I was just saying that a lot of people didn't really like it because, they expected him to be, you know, they expected them to be in New York like the whole film, But I find it to be a really underrated film. I love Jason. I do too. I love Jason as well. Um, Jason's my, like I said, maybe he's not ranked. Uh, Not everyone, or what I was gonna say. I know that he's not ranked up in my like. He's not above like Michael Myers or anything, because for me, I like the Halloween films more, but I appreciate the Friday the 13th films. Like they're definitely the more like entertaining, you know. Like the Halloween films are, good. They're my, it's my second favorite franchise. But in terms of like kills and all that, I think Jason like takes the cake for like the kills and all that and the entertainment value. Your background is amazing. Yeah, like I said, every time I do, because I don't know if you know, I've been trying to do something new on the channel. So yesterday, I think you missed the stream last night. I actually did a Halloween stream, and I actually had like a Halloween background. So I kind of I'm just gonna be doing that from now on. Like if I talk about, say, I told everyone that tomorrow or in a couple days or so, I'll talk about maybe like Child's Play or something like that, and we'll just talk about that franchise. But for right now, we're basically I'm just gonna have a Child's Play background and all that too, because that's the topic that we're gonna be talking about. So whatever topic I'm on, I'm just gonna change my background, to whatever topic, Scream, whatever. I'm just gonna. Why doesn't anyone like that one? I don't know why. I don't know why they um, don't like that movie. I guess it's probably because Jason wasn't in it, or it's probably because they weren't in New York for the whole movie, like I said. You know, and they're on the cruise ship one half of the film. So I think that's the one reason why they don't like it. Um, why people don't like it, why it's so hated on, like because it's called Jason Takes Manhattan. Everybody expected him to be in New York, like the whole film. Um, and people preferred them to just call it, Jason Takes a Cruise Ship instead. But I still like the film. It's an underrated film, and I think it gets too much hate, in my opinion. It doesn't deserve it, you know. Me and you like the one underrated. Yep. Yep, I do. And I also like Jason X. Jason X, I was just talking about that I feel is underrated. Like the look of Jason in that movie. I just love that look. I dig that look. Like, him in space and all that. Like, all that armor that he has. Definitely the most underrated. Or the second most underrated, anyways. This one was Heartstream. I'm so proud of you. Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I've been trying to a um like I said, I've been trying my best to try to do something different. You know, um, like I don't want to just stay in the topic of Scream or anything like that. I just want to kind of change it up and just do, like I said, yesterday was a Halloween talk. Today is Friday the 13th talk. Tomorrow, in a few days, it'll probably be like Child's Play or something. Like I said, I'm just trying to do something new in the channel so that people like it. I'm not giving up on Scream or nothing. Of course, I'm going to keep talking about Scream, but I just kind of want to change it up a little bit, here and there too. But we will get back to Scream eventually, so stay tuned for that. But for now, we're gonna just stay in the topic of Friday the 13th. I came in too late, had to work. Oh, that's fine. Everybody has to yeah, for sure. Everybody has. Well, what am I? Sorry, I'm kind of daydreaming. It's all good. Like I said, everybody has their, people get busy, and that's just a part of life. People work, people have jobs, and can't help that. Don't be sorry about that. We'll keep to what you know if it helps. Yeah. And like I said, I love horror in general. I love all slashers. I don't just love Scream. Yeah, Scream is my number one favorite, but I talk about all slashers, in general. And I was like, how cool would it be for me to talk about? How cool would it be for me to talk about just one slasher film in one stream? Instead of talking about all of them all in one stream, we could just talk about one and just give our thoughts about the franchise, all the franchises, what we think about them, like which movie is the most underrated. I just wanted to do something new, do something new and fresh. And I think in a few days after we do that Child's Play stream, I think that I'm going to definitely do another Scream, talk about the Scream franchise again, and we're just basically going to go through the franchise again, just talk about the Scream films, and maybe give our thoughts about like the certain characters and all that, I just want to do something new, and I'm not giving up on Scream or nothing like that. I just kind of want to do something new. I love you so much. Oh, thank you. I love you too. Oh, Tatum, you're awesome. Thank you for all the support. Seriously, it means a lot. Um, like I said, I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for you guys. I'm moving this week. Oh, you're moving this week. Oh, you're moving somewhere else. Love the glasses. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I just thought I would put the glasses on. I'll probably start doing that from now on. Just putting the glasses on while I talk. You know. Let's go. Yeah. But yeah, I love your Narnar. Oh yeah, Nancy Ann Ridley. Yep. She's a good person. Actually, I think she said that she's coming back. Like I said, I don't want to get too far off topic of Friday the 13th, but um, I think she's coming back for on Craven stream, and I think they're gonna be doing another collab. Oh yeah, I always got you for sure. Um, that's your girl. You talked to her yesterday. That's cool. Yeah, she's a really good person. And I actually, like I said, she's gonna be coming back on Craven's channel. She's gonna be, coming back on his. She's gonna be on his channel again. Very soon. I think he said like it's September or something. She just hasn't been able to get on because busy work schedule and all that. I bet, which it's understandable. I mean, people work in life, and that's just a part of life. You can't go. Oh, you can't go to where? Let's bring her back. Yeah, she is gonna come back. She's gonna be on Craven's. No, she is coming back on Craven's stream with Craven. She is coming back. Um, he's definitely coming back, or she's definitely coming back on his channel. She's even said that she may come back in September around that time, like so. Two Cravens. He hates me. Why do you say that for? Like, why do you think that? Like, can you give me like a reason, like why you think that? Because but yeah, you know, I'm very, very interested in seeing, where this TV series goes. Like I said, I just want to stay on the topic of Friday the 13th, because that's what the stream basically is. So, um, Friday the 13th, I'm glad it's coming back and all, but I wish that they would have made a movie, which I guess a TV series I don't really mind, but it's just not a real movie. But I'm pretty sure that they will make a movie, in the near future, for sure. Well, let me know why you think he hates you. Like, I don't think he does. Can you tell me in Instagram or something? Yeah, because we won't let that be known here in the chat or anything. So I don't want it to be let public. Because I'm pretty sure he loves everybody, Kraven's a pretty nice guy. I don't think that he hates anybody. I think he tries to. He's probably the nicest guy in the community. Like I said, he's the reason why. Um, he's the reason why I have a channel. Without him, I don't think I would have a channel. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he doesn't. He's a really nice guy. He's um like I said, he's okay, maybe it's sometimes like when like somebody's like trolling the chat, that's when he gets mean, when he should, because that's the rule. Nobody wants a troll in the chat. But that's the only reason why he gets mean is because when people start acting weird in the chat and they start bullying each other and all stuff like that, which is understandable. But as far as him like hating on people, no. Kraven's the nicest guy that I know. Like he's the reason why I have a channel. He's the first person that I came across, and the reason why I have a channel. So shout out to you, Kraven, if you're watching. But yeah, you're the reason why. He's the reason why I have a channel. Him and Fate, and I think him and Fate were the first ones that I actually watched. That got me wanting to do a horror channel. Like, because what it was. So I'll give you a little story here because I don't want to get off too much topic. I don't want to get off topic of Friday the 13th, but I'll give you like a little story here. So how I found Kraven was he had this channel called the Movie Bros, right? With him and Carbonite. I don't know if you know who that is, but that's like his best friend or whatever. They did a channel together called the Movie Bros. Well, I actually started watching his channel. I came across his channel because he was actually doing the Scream Fest. This is before Scream 5 had came out, and he was doing the Scream Fest, going through like the whole franchise or whatever. And he basically, like I said, I just loved his channel right from, that's how I found him. Him doing the Scream Fest videos or whatever. He was basically going through the whole franchise, on that channel, on the Movie Bros channel. And that's basically how I found him. Like, and Fate, on the other hand, like I said, this was all before Scream 5 was even being released. Even before it was released, like when we were basically theorizing and just talking about it, But yeah, he was basically just going through the whole franchise, and that's how I basically found him on the Movie Bros channel, So he's an OG to me. Like I'm an OG of his channel. And also Fate too. Like Fate, Fate decided I'm actually an OG of his channel. Like I watched him, around the same time, before Scream 5 was even released. So yeah, Carbonite Jedi is who I'm talking about. Yeah, that's his best friend. He basically, um, like I said, um, what was I gonna say? They basically had a channel, like I said, called the Movie Bros or whatever, and they actually still had that channel, and they're actually like real life friends with each other. But yeah, they had a channel together, and yeah, that's basically how I found them. How I found Craven, and I think it was after that he started making. He had his own channel, his own channel, horror channel of his own. So then I started watching that as well, and just kept on following, kept on watching, kept on watching. Kept on. I actually bought a membership and all that too, you know. And then I was like, man, how about I make a horror channel? And he was like, he told me to go for it, you know. So I did. So I wouldn't be doing this without him, or like I said, Fate, because they're the reasons why I'm doing this. Fate is, like I said, I watched his videos way before Scream 5 was even released as well. Like, he was basically just theorizing about Scream 5. So, like I said, I wouldn't have this channel without him. Didn't you pay to be Stu on Fates? Oh, you're talking about that prank that I pulled. Yeah, I pulled a prank on, and like I said, I don't want to get too much off topic of Friday the 13th, but I did pull a prank on Fate. So basically what I did is I was acting like I was Stu, or I was acting like I was Matthew Lillard, the actor that played Stu, in the chat, and I was sending like a whole bunch of $100 bills, $200 bills, and all that in the in the chat to get him to believe that it was actually Matthew Lillard. So he actually was starting to believe it, and actually Nancy Ann Riddler was actually on his channel too that night. She was actually like a guest on his channel, and yeah, I sent that super chat, sent all those super chat, all that money, whatever, and he really thought I was Matthew Lillard. Like, they were really like convinced, because all the money that I was sending, and the all the super chats that I sent, like they really thought I was Matthew Lillard. So then after that, he started figuring it out, saying that it was me and all that. And then I was like, damn, he got me there. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with that prank. Like, a lot of money. Yeah, like I said, I sent a lot of money, like in a super chat. Like, I was sending like $200, like, and all that, so that they would basically, believe that I was Matthew Lillard, like the real Matthew Lillard. And they actually, believed it for a while. Like I said, they actually, were buying it. I do too, man. Like I said, he's just my inspiration. And like I said, I don't want to get off too much topic. Like I said, on Friday the 13th, I want to get back to talking about that. But like I said, Fate is just he's my inspiration, He really is. Like I said, he's another reason why I have a channel, like I said, because I came across his and the two Movie Bros channels, or the Movie Bros channels, with Craven, obviously his friend. I came across both of those channels, and I actually watched Killjoy Jake as well, even before, like probably 2 years like before, probably like. So it's just like I kind of knew him. I didn't know him, but I watched his channel, and then I didn't know Knight until obviously around when I saw Craven's channel and Fate's channel, like when they started like doing collabs with each other, and then I found his channel as well, like. So it was just like like they're just my inspirations. They got me doing what I'm doing. Like, cause without them, I don't think that I would be doing what I'm doing right now. I don't think I'd have a channel. I just thought it would be cool to have a horror channel or something like that. You know. Yes, we're not there. Yup. Yeah, they were really believing it for a while. Like I said, they were buying it. Fate was just like, oh my god, this is Matthew Lillard. I don't give a shit. I think it's him. He was being all serious. He really thought I was Matthew Lillard. Like both of them did. And Nar was even saying that she believed it was Matthew Lillard. She was all saying, how much she like adores him and all that. Like she actually believed. Like, and it was funny. It was a funny prank. I had fun with that. That's crazy. Thank you. I appreciate that. Like I said, I wanted to do something funny, just figure out something funny. I was like, how about I actually make a fake account? And I get a picture of Matthew Lillard. And I named the channel Matthew Lillard or something. And then like pull a prank on Fate and Nancy. Like, so I just that was a funny prank. Although I kind of did make a mistake because I actually called Nancy, handsome on accident, which I know you're not supposed to call women that. You're not supposed to call, women. You're not supposed to call them, handsome. You're supposed to call them beautiful. And I didn't mean to say that to her. Like, I didn't really mean to say that. That wasn't my intentions at all. So I kind of like hurt her feelings a little, which I told her. I apologized to her and all that, so she understood. But yeah, I didn't mean to say that at all. I meant to say she was beautiful, like, I believed it. Yeah, everybody did. Everybody in the chat, even like everybody in the chat was believing it. And I actually did another prank. Now I don't know if you remember this, but I actually did another prank on Craven Something Scary's channel, where I basically so what I did was, so this time I actually acted like I was actually Fate in the chat, and Craven and all of them were all like, "What's up, Fate?" and this and that. They were believing it so much, and then they eventually saw the real Fate actually came in the chat. Because I was basically pretending, to be him and all that, which I thought was pretty funny. But yeah, he definitely they were definitely believing that I was Fate. But then, everybody was in the chat was all calling the real Fate, a liar and all that. They were calling Fate a liar, saying that wasn't him and all that. Because he said that it wasn't him. People thought he was lying about it. They really believed that I was the real Fate. Like, I was basically acting like I was Fate in the chat, and everybody was all, believe in it and all that, and they eventually found like they eventually figured out that said that I was imposter. And I was just like, damn. I'm like, damn, you really did me like that. I think it was Brett. I don't know if you know who that is. He was the one that basically said the D is all the D was lowercase and all that. Like, I was like, damn, why'd you do that for her? I almost had it too. Like they were believing it for a while. Like, but then I was just trying to act like Fate or whatever, because he's like my favorite person in the community or whatever. And yeah, man, it was funny though. Like, and Fate was like, "That's not me." He even like texted like Craven and was saying, it wasn't me. That wasn't him. Yeah, that was hilarious. Everybody was believing it. Like, you're forgiving me. Love you too, Tatum. Yeah, like I said, I didn't mean to come across like that. With Nancy, I love Nancy. And she understood. She understands. She Rob Bravo, everyone push that like button, yes. Yeah, Brett Bishop was the one that gave it away. He was basically saying because the D on decided is actually uppercase, and the D on my channel, the Fate channel that I made was lowercase. So they figured it out. They were like, well, this is an imposter because the D was lowercase, but the real Fate Decided's channel has the D is in uppercase, I think. So they figured out I was an imposter. But yeah, I want to get back on the topic, Friday the 13th. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to give a little story there, Maybe I'll just do a channel. I do like a live stream where we just do like story time. I don't know. Just talk about funny things that we've done. But I think for right now, we're just going to stay on topic for Friday the 13th. I don't know how to make you a mod. Like I said, I'm a kind of new at this, like I said, so I'm still kind of learning. So I don't really know how to do all that. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't know how to do any of that yet. Like I said, I'll have to learn how to do all that, how to make you a moderator, because that'd actually be nice if you could do that. Like, keep an eye on the chat and don't let no trolls in, and time them out or whatever if they're trolling. I'd really like to, like for you to do that, but I just don't know how to do that. Like, still kind of learning. But yeah, Friday the 13th, I kind of want to get back on topic with that. Friday the 13th is just, it's a really great franchise. It really is. I think it's the most like entertaining franchise. Like Halloween, of course, Michael Myers is the scariest, but I feel like Jason is definitely the most like brutal killer. and like all slashers. Um, but yeah, I still like Jason. Of course, I still, like I said, maybe Friday the 13th isn't like, I'm not like I'm a diehard fan of it, of course. But like I said, I like Halloween a little bit more just because I feel like Jason's a little bit like, Jason's more brutal and he's more entertaining. But I always preferred, I don't know why, but I always preferred like Halloween. And maybe in terms of kills, I prefer Friday the 13th. But like I said, I'm not gonna go too much into it. Um, like I said, I don't want to go like too much into the Halloween franchise again because we already covered that yesterday, and I kind of just want to stay on topic, Friday the 13th. But like I said, um, the Halloween films are good. All right, like I prefer them more than the Friday the 13th. But I do, like I said, I do respect Friday the 13th, as a franchise because I think they're overall, I think they're more entertaining, than the Halloween films in a lot of ways. Like, of course, Halloween's always gonna be my second favorite, but I'm just saying, like, I feel like Friday the 13th is more, just entertaining. With the way Jason kills and all that, just the way he kills people and all that. That's the main reason why I find him to be like more entertaining. Like that. That's personally just me, though. Other people may not think that. But I definitely think that he is. I think that he's the most like entertaining, like killer, probably in slasher history. Like, I mean, Leatherface doesn't really have that. Okay, Leatherface has some brutal kills, but I think Jason's like just the way he kills. He just rips people's arms off and punches people's heads off and all that. Like he's pretty brutal, when it comes to kills. So I think Jason's the more like entertaining killer. But Michael Myers is definitely the more scarier. Like he's the most scariest killer, So that's basically all I gotta say. But I definitely think that he's definitely the more he's definitely the more brutal killers, without a doubt. Um, but yeah, I think that this, and I do like the remake. The remake is really good. I really appreciate that. That film. And I'm actually, thinking about, since I'm talking about it, maybe later tonight I might, watch, the movies again because I actually had the Scream Factory box set, as y'all know. And it comes with all the films, like all 12 films, and the box set is obviously made by the company Scream Factory, which they, the way they make those box sets, like with all the designs and all that, is absolutely just outstanding. Like the designs on that box set, the box set that I have, it's just absolutely amazing, So yeah, I'm definitely thinking about watching those movies again, just because I haven't really explored them in a while. Definitely thinking about doing like a marathon or something, because Like I said, I haven't watched those movies, and it's been quite a while since I watched those movies. Um, I always usually watch like Scream, um, Halloween even, but I usually watch Scream, a lot more. So it's definitely something. Even though I do have all the horror film, not all the horror films, but I do have other slasher films like obviously Friday the 13th, Halloween, Scream, Child's Play, Nightmare on Elm Street. The only franchise that I don't have is Texas Chainsaw, which that movie is very that franchise is very underrated. But like I said, I'll save that for another another live stream. Like I said, we just talk about that franchise in another live stream. Um, but for right now, we're just gonna stick to Friday the 13th. Um, oh, how's it going, Hobbs? Have you seen The Amazing Bulk? No, I haven't. Is it a slasher film? Oh yeah, it's a slasher film. That's nice. Definitely gonna have to see that for sure. Right up there with Scream. Oh, I'm definitely gonna have to check that out. Um, welcome, Russell. Welcome to the Friday the 13th stream, and happy Tuesday to you as well. And like I said, it's okay if you're late. A lot of people just have a lot of things to do. It's just a part of life. Oh, what's up, Geese Lake? How you doing? The Amazing Bulk is a very good slasher movie. Yeah, it really is, isn't it? Or I think I saw that movie. I don't know what. Sorry, I'm kind of daydreaming. Um, I might have saw that film maybe a while ago, but I don't remember. But yeah, it sounds pretty good. I don't know what's going on with me right now. I'm kind of daydreaming a little bit. That music's just kind of refreshing. But yeah, um, we are gonna stay on topic, like I said, of Friday the 13th. The franchise as a whole, like I said. Like, tell me which movie you guys think is the most underrated, and also let me know which film is like one of the best. Because, um, like I was talking about, I think Jason Takes Manhattan's the most underrated, and behind that is definitely Jason X. And obviously the remake too. I think the remake is another underrated, Friday the 13th film. The remake, a lot of people just didn't like it. Probably, honestly, I don't know why they didn't like it, but a lot of people just have their own taste, and people hate films, people love films. Not everyone's gonna like the same film, So if you do hate the remake, let me know why. But if you do like it, let me know what do you like about it? Like, Jason X had some good kills in it. Oh, absolutely. Like I was saying, Jason X is without a doubt, you know, the more underrated film. But I think the most underrated is Manhattan. But Jason X is definitely behind Manhattan in terms of being underrated. Like a lot of people just didn't appreciate Jason X probably because of the cheesiness and just they didn't buy that he was in space. But at the same time, I actually like Jason's look in that movie. The steel and all that. Like, um, it looks. I think that look looks so cool. Like, I don't want to say it, but it looked badass to me. Sorry for my language, but you know. Friday the 13th remake was good. I saw it in theaters. Yeah, it's a really good film. A lot of people, I don't know what the reasonings are, why people hate it, but a lot of people just have their own taste, I guess, and just don't like certain movies, I guess. But I found it to be one of the best remakes out there. I think it is one of the best. The most underrated remake, in my opinion. I think Derek Mears did a really good job, playing Jason. And he's got a pretty, large neck too, if you guys could see. Because this picture is actually from the remake. My background, anyways. But yeah, he's got a pretty large neck. I saw Jason X in theater. I had a good time. Oh yeah, Jason X is a really good film. The look of Jason in that movie is just so underrated. A lot of people just don't like it because of the cheesiness from it, probably. And of course, like I said, like I was saying, movies ain't gonna be perfect. You know. And of course, people are not gonna like the same stuff that other people, somebody else may not like the same thing that I like, A lot of people have different, views, different takes, on certain films. Metal Jason versus Android as Jason X Blast 2. Oh yeah. Metal Jason. I think the Metal Jason was sick. The Android Jason was pretty cool too, but I think I enjoyed the Metal Jason more. The Metal Jason, to me, was just, oh my god, bro. Like, I'm sorry, but the Metal Jason looks so badass, dude. Like, I don't care what anybody says, but that look looks so badass. Like, all like the metal on his body and all that, the mask. Man, it's like he got upgraded. Looks so fucking sick. I'm sorry. So badass. So underrated, in my opinion. Kane Hodder did a very good, a really good job as always. Definitely got his got to work this time. Got to work, more in that movie. One of the reasons might be that some people are not big on remakes. I know I'm not a big on them. Only seen a few of it. Yeah, I only like a few as well. Like the only remakes that I don't like is when they rehash, the same things that they did, like rehash like from like the older movies. That's the kind of remakes that I hate, and they basically just retell the same story that you already saw. But when they go their own route, I don't mind it. Let's say like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that remake. Like I said, I don't want to get too much off topic, but that remake was outstanding. Like I think that was one of the best remakes. The 2003 film. That was one of the best remakes, in my opinion. Long live the amazing Luke. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to check that movie out for sure. But yeah, I don't know where your guys' takes are. I don't know if you felt the same way as me about um the stuntman in Freddy vs. Jason, because okay, I'm not trying to like disrespect the guy or anything, but I feel like that film would have been better received if if Kane Hodder was in the film, doing the stunts for Jason. Like And also, I didn't really like the look of Jason in that movie. Like, I don't know what it was. I just wasn't a fan, of that look. Oh yeah, Jason X. Man, dude, I always keep on saying it, man. The most underrated. It's definitely, I think Manhattan's underrated as well, and also, but Jason X is behind that in terms of like underrated, like Friday the 13th films. Like, I think Part Seven is definitely like my favorite. I also like Part Seven. Part Six, Part Five. A lot of people didn't really like that, but I honestly liked it. I thought it was a pretty good, film. A lot of people didn't like, how Michael had the, the jumpsuit and all that. I mean, yeah, I guess I could understand that. I guess I didn't really like mind it. It's definitely not my favorite, but um Friday the 13th Part 4, obviously one of my favorites. Part 3, Part 2, and obviously the original is always going to be my number one favorite. Um but yeah, Part 7 is definitely, another good one, which on the New Blood. Jason Goes to Hell was a lot of fun. Dude, I actually despise that film. I don't know if you heard. Obviously, you just got in the chat, but I was explaining like why I don't like that film, like why I feel like it's the worst in the franchise. It's just because Michael wasn't really, or sorry, Jason wasn't really in it, and I feel like Jason, if he was in it more, and if it was more like a Friday film, then I would have, appreciated it a lot more. But I understand that people, have an argument, say that, Jason was basically, he wasn't even in the first Friday the 13th. But that's a little different because that was before his character even came to light. Like, so it's like, I could understand what people are saying, but at the same time, it doesn't really make any sense when you had all these other Friday films that had Michael in it the whole time, but this one you don't. You don't have Michael in it at all. Only like or Jason, excuse me. Sorry, I keep on saying Michael. I keep on thinking that we're talking about Michael Myers again, but we're talking about Jason. Sorry, I can't talk today. But Jason, right? The other films had Jason in it, but then Jason Goes to Hell. You're not going to have Jason in it. You're only going to have him in the film for like 5 minutes and blow him up. I mean, that's my only problem. My only problem with it. But the kills, I think, and the soundtrack, I think is pretty good. Overall, I think, and the soundtrack is pretty damn good. But, and I know a lot of people, I'm glad that you enjoyed it, and I think the kills were outstanding. But again, it wasn't the character, so. Got a few favorites in the Friday the 13th movies, even though Jason wasn't in it. I'm gonna give original Friday the 13th praise. Betsy Palmer did awesome. Oh, absolutely, yeah. The original Friday the 13th, like I said, is always gonna be my number one favorite. No matter what. And like I said, yeah, Betsy Palmer, like rest in peace. She did a really good job in that film. But yeah, that's definitely always going to be my number one favorite. Part 2, 3, and 4 is great, and Jason Lives is iconic. Yep. All of them are pretty good. Like I said, I think Part 8 is the most underrated one. It's just a lot of people didn't really like. A lot of people didn't really like. A a lot of people didn't really um care for it as much. You know, nobody cared for part eight, like I was saying. For a lot of because they expected him to be in New York for the whole film. But me, I really enjoyed it. I didn't mind that at all. I think the kills in part eight are pretty good. You know. Jason wasn't in part five either. He was. Jason was in part five. He had if you don't remember, he had a jumpsuit. But he was he kind of looked a little weird, so I didn't really care for that one as much, but I didn't really hate it. Like, I still like it, of course, but not as much as like part 7, part 6, part 8, part 4 even. But yeah, Michael was in it, or Jason was in it, excuse me. Friday the 13th is a copycat. Friday the 13th 5 is a copycat. Tommy Jarvis. But Tommy Jarvis was in it. And the ending was a great twist. Absolutely. That's what yeah. So, yeah, Jason was in it. But yeah, Tommy Jarvis is basically like he was Jason. Like, Ghostface isn't in any of the Scream. Ghostface is in every Scream film. He's in every Scream film. It's just different killers in every movie. It was the kid's dad getting revenge, yeah. But it's still the character, though, right? I mean, you still see him. He's doing the kills, right? I mean, that's just my thing. If Jason Goes to Hell had the character do the kills, I wouldn't have cared. I would have loved the movie. You know? That's how you interpret the character, right? That's basically how I go about it. You name it Friday the 13th, everybody wants to see the actual character in the movie, do the kills. They don't want to see these human beings do the kills. Like I was just saying, they want to see the character because that's the whole point of the Friday the 13th. That's the whole point of calling it Friday the 13th. Like, everybody's expecting, to see Jason in the movie, doing the kills in like the whole movie. Jason really wasn't in part 5 unless you count the dream scenes. He was pretty. He did a lot. He did some kills in that movie. So he was in that movie quite a bit. The mask in every movie, every screen, every movie, original version. Well, yeah, but still, it's still the character. It doesn't matter if it's a copycat. Like, it's still the character in the movie. It's the way the character's portrayed as, Like, Ghostface is basically like I said, I don't want to get like too much off topic, but Ghostface is like, he's a real human. Like, there's new killers in every movie. It's not the same killer. You know what I mean? As to where Jason and Michael Myers, you only have one. It's only, one killer. You already know who the killer is. But the Scream movies, you basically got like guess who it is, and it's like more like humanly. So it's still the character, though. That's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't really matter if it's a copycat killers, because you still see the character, and it's the character that's doing it. His dad still wore the hockey mask even though he was the paramedic guy who played Kid's father, who was killed by a maniac. He was sharing candy. I know. That's hilarious. Yeah, it probably did. I mean, Scream 6, so it's not really a good. I mean, I think it's a better film than 5, but like I said, I don't want to get too off topic here. Jason is still Jason. Jason is a hell. Is he though? Like really though? I mean, I don't really see that. I mean, he basically people are these humans. The survivors are basically just getting possessed by him, like, you know what I mean? So is that really Jason? I don't really think so. I mean, I think Jason is the person who wears the hockey mask. The person that you see the hockey mask, the machete in his hand. That's the real Jason, not the survivors. That basically get possessed by him, like, because it's not like they're zombies or anything like that. Like, they're not the actual Jason. It's not like their face is all like. It's not like they're not like zombies or nothing. You know what I mean? Like Jason is. So that's just the way I look at it. But and I feel like Kane Hodder. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. He's there, oh my LOL, awful film. He goes to hell. Yes, it was a set. No, it was set in Jason versus Freddy. But come on, Jason doesn't possess people. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. He doesn't possess people. He does the killings on his own. The human being does it himself. He doesn't possess other people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's my problem with it. And I feel like Kane Hodder, he was overall just wasted in this movie. Just wasted. They didn't even use him. And I think that was just disrespectful to his character and to Kane Hodder as as a stuntman. You blow the character up in like 5 minutes. 5 minutes in the movie. He doesn't even get any time to do any work. Like at all. Like, he basically was just in the movie and he just got wasted. That's what I feel like. I feel like he was wasted, He was just wasted, and they basically just used him just to get what? Just to get blown up. I mean, he didn't really get to do anything. So it's okay. Like I said, people could like it. People could like it. People have a right, to their own opinion. Although I don't really care for it. I mean, I will say that I do like some of the kills and all that. But if it was done by the real character, by the real Jason character, the real Jason Voorhees, well then I wouldn't have minded it. Like, I would have liked it a lot more. I will say though, I do like the soundtrack. The soundtrack is pretty damn good. And obviously seeing Freddy's glove, but But come on, yeah, that's ridiculous. He doesn't possess people. I mean, come on now. If people really believe that, that's why I always say it's probably the worst in the franchise. You know, for me, anyways. There's a lot of people that like it, but me, I just can't. I can't. You know. I mean, I like the soundtrack. Again, if the character was in the movie, the whole damn movie, like a regular Friday film, I would have, enjoyed it a lot more. Like, I love the one with Tina too. Yeah, yeah. Are you talking about Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood? Yep, Friday the 13th, Part 7. Part 5? No, I don't think about. It's not like in Part 5. Like I said, the difference to me is that um the difference to me, honestly, is that it's not like Jason was basically possessing other people in Part 5, like he was in Jason Goes to Hell. So that's the difference. And it's not like the stuntman that was doing the work didn't. It's not like he was wasted, like, in my opinion. But Friday the 13th, Part 7. Yes. Yep, that's the one. Yep. Hey, bro, how are you? How's it going, Xtron? How you doing, man? Like I said, we're just talking some Friday the 13th, tonight. Thank you for popping in. How you doing? Wow, we're getting a lot of people in this chat. I didn't expect this. I think they I think they all have something going for them. I find enjoyment out of all the expected per yeah. Oh, yeah. All of them are pretty enjoyable, I think. I think part 8, like I said, is the most underrated. We watched fan films the Friday the 13th program. That is so good. Oh yeah, absolutely. I watch every fan film that I saw Vengeance Part 1, and I can't wait till Part 2 comes out, unless it's already out, but I don't remember. But I watched Never Hike Alone. It's basically like Jason in the snow. I watched that fan film. I watched, I think it was Bloodlines, I believe, with the actor who played Tina in Part 7, I believe. I think it's called Bloodlines. But yeah, that movie was pretty damn good too. But yeah, I do watch, the fan films. They do a pretty good job with those, you know? Carrie versus Jason. Carrie wins. Maybe, yeah. Carrie Russell. 8 and 9 might be my faves. Yeah, and then like I said, people like Part 9 still, and I can understand. I mean, the kills are pretty good, but for me, the downfall for me is just, the fact that Jason, is basically the humans doing the killing, not the real Jason, who is basically, possessing, other people. which I had a problem with that. But I will say, like was saying, I do like the soundtrack. I think the soundtrack is pretty damn good. You know, I definitely think the soundtrack is pretty good. And the look of Jason in that movie too, if he was just utilized better. Yes, Vengeance Part Two. Oh, dude, I'm definitely gonna have to. I'm definitely gonna have to, check that out. I watched the first one. I don't know. I may have watched the second one, but I don't remember. But I did watch the first one. And another good one, like I said, is Never Hike Alone. Basically, Jason in the winter, and snow. Basically, like Jason at Christmas or something. It's very interesting. Films are so good these days. That's what I'm saying. Like, they just need to keep on going with those. They need to keep on, showing Hollywood basically how it's done. Because Hollywood these days isn't, they're not doing anything creative nowadays. I like Part 6 and Jason 2009. Yes. Yep. I like Jason 2009 as well. Friday the 13th remake. And then Part 6, obviously, Jason Lives. My favorites right there. Absolutely. Extra. I'm going to say something about Jason that I'm not sure if you will agree with. What is that? You said that I'm not gonna that I'm not gonna agree with what is it what were you gonna say? Never Hike Alone 2 is coming soon. Oh dude, man, I'm gonna have to watch that. Is it gonna be like Jason in the snow? Yeah, Never Hike Alone is like Jason in the snow. Which is very cool. I don't know if that's the direction they're gonna go with the second one, but he's a Deadeye Extron. Oh, I don't know what Extron was gonna ask. But yeah, I don't know if you guys are digging, my background here. Jason standing behind me, basically. But yeah, like I understand, like I was saying, I don't know if you guys are like down for this. Okay. He said the thing with Zombie Jason is that he's seen it as unstoppable. But considering if Jason goes to hell, they explain Zombie Jason could be killed through Voorhees family. So he could actually, be stopped. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that like that he's basically the zombie Jason's unstoppable, but like the human, like you said, Jason goes to hell. They explain zombie. Jason could be killed through Voorhees family. So, yeah, I definitely think. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, for sure. Definitely think the zombie Jason's unstoppable. That's what they. But then Jason Goes to Hell, like you said, they basically explained. They explained zombie Jason could be killed through Voorhees family. Yeah, that's very, yeah, I agree with that. Definitely. I'm not sure, but the director was on Movies and Beyond Stream, and he said it was coming soon. Oh, Never Hike Alone Part Two. That's going to be very interesting. You know, these filmmakers need to keep on doing their thing. You know, because we need more, you know, young up and coming, you know, filmmakers like that. You know, that could actually, you know, make movies. Because, like I said, you know, the new movies today are just not, you know, Hollywood's just not doing a good job, in my opinion. They're not being like creative or anything. They just keep rehashing the same shit, you know, over and over and over and over. Like, I just want something new and creative for once. But yeah, I was actually gonna talk about this real quick. So so Rob Zombie, right? I've been talking about how like Rob Zombie doesn't really fit. You know, he didn't really fit Halloween. But how would you guys feel about him possibly making a Friday the 13th film? Because I think that's more of like his style. And also, you know, Leatherface as well, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think those movies are basically his style because you know they're more brutal. Um, so yeah, I don't know what your guys' feelings are on that, but I think that you know Rob Zombie making a Jason movie, Friday the 13th is more like of his style. There is a new Jason show coming out. Yep, the new TV series called Crystal Lake. It might work with Ghost Rider. Yeah, I just feel like you know Halloween wasn't really like his style too much because Jason's more like brutal than Michael. You know, and I feel like it's more of his style. You know, just the fact that you know Jason rips people's arms off, punches people's heads off, you know, chops people's you know head off, whatever with this machete. I just think it's more brutal, you know, in my opinion than um. It's more he's more brutal than Michael. So I just think that it would fit his style. Since you know Michael or Jason's basically you know a zombie anyways, you know. Yeah, so I recently watched the Evil Dead movie, so I know. I know what they did. That's what they're trying to make Jason a dynamic because of Evil Dead inspiration. So I guess Jason's from that. Oh, that's actually very interesting. Yeah, they go by the Evil Dead. Uh, they basically copied, you know, got inspired by Evil Dead. Yeah, I could definitely see that. I mean, spirit, not the zombie dead. Yeah, like basically his spirit. That's what I was saying. That's why I'm not really a fan, you know, of Jason Goes to Hell. But like I said, I like the you know the soundtrack, some of the kills, and I like Jason's look in that movie as well. But he just wasn't used right. He wasn't utilized, so he can make a Friday the 13th movie. I bet his wife would be a Jason Voorhees victim. Oh my gosh, I know, dude. He has his wife in every movie that he makes. Like she was in the first Rob Zombie film. And then she was obviously in the second one as well in the dream sequence. So yeah, of course he's gonna have his wife in the movie, and his wife is probably gonna get killed by Jason. Um, if he ever decided, to make one, a Friday the 13th film, of course. So yeah, of course he's gonna have his wife in there. But yeah, I just feel like it fits his style a lot more, I just feel like, I just feel like she's or he's it just fits his style as the brutalness of Jason, I don't know what it is. I just think it fits more of his style. Don't make her Allison. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, because I know that if he ever did decide to make a Friday the 13th, he would probably make her. Obviously, he's gonna bring his wife in the movie, and he's gonna make her like a Jason victim, like a survivor, basically gonna get killed. What do you think about Jason and Spade? It was okay for me. Oh, dude, I loved it. I loved every bit of it. Like I was saying, I think Jason X is the most underrated movie, probably in the whole franchise. Like, it's probably the second most underrated, behind Friday the 13th, Part 8. So yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. I definitely like the idea of, they did something new. They didn't stay in Crystal Lake. So I'm kind of glad that they did, you know, something a little different. Zombie Jason isn't unstoppable. Pretty much his ghost is unstoppable. His body could be destroyed. Yeah, his body could be destroyed, but his ghost can't. Yeah, and that's just the weird thing about like Jason Goes to Hell. You know? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know if it's just me. I don't know how you feel about Jason Goes to Hell. But that's kind of why I didn't really like it. It was more of like Jason's ghost, your spirit, possessing other people. And it's like, come on, man. Jason doesn't possess people. Jason Voorhees is the only horror icon that works in space. Yes, exactly. Like I was saying, don't do that with any other horror icon. I know Chucky went to space, but I think realistically, Jason's like the only one that could go anywhere all over the world. Like he could go to Hollywood. He could go somewhere like Paris or something where it's like snowing. He could go anywhere. Like, or France, excuse me. I think France. I think it snows there, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, somewhere like that. Like, I want a snow film. I want to see him more in like the snow. I know we see fan films of him in the snow, but I'm talking about like a real film. But yeah, I definitely think that he's really the only one that could do that. Maybe he could do a movie where like where he's like in the hood or something too. That would be pretty interesting, or just like a prison movie where he's basically like kills people in prison. In a prison, he kills like a whole bunch of like prison inmates. That would be pretty crazy too. Um, I can see Michael Myers potentially, going to the hood, but because it's not like nothing crazy. Jason Voorhees needs to stay away from the hood. Yeah, yeah, I kind of feel that too. I mean, just because another horror icon has done that doesn't mean another should. You know, that's what I say about like the Scream films. They stay away from space. The Scream and Ghostface, Scream a film like Scream doesn't work like that. Um, maybe going to other cities and all that, but nothing crazy. Like how in the world would he be able to get to space? How would Ghostface be able to get on a ship like that? Like when he's like, he's a real human. Like I don't understand. Like so I wouldn't be, really a fan of that. The thing with Jason is, it seems like he's almost always being brought back because someone or something else. Like imagine Tina never brought back Jason, except Jason even come back then. Um, imagine Tina never brought back Jason never come back then. I don't really know, honestly. That's a really good question, actually. I really don't know. Probably not. I mean, that's a pretty hard question. Like, if he was, like, imagine if Tina never brought, back Jason Part 7, would Jason even come back? I don't know. That's a really interesting question. I really don't know. Because we really don't know the way Jason is. I think probably more than likely because he can't die. But I don't really know, like, if he would still come back. I mean, in Part 6, we seen that, Tommy Jarvis and them brought Jason back, by accident. Um, so I don't really know if he would come back still, but that's definitely, I don't know, actually. I really don't know, you know? That's a good question. I really don't know. I would probably say probably, because he always comes back, no matter what. Like I said, he could get blown up or whatever, and he'll still come back, like he did in Jason Goes to Hell. Who can play? Who can play a new Jason now? I would like Kane. Like I was saying, I want Kane Hodder back. You know, a lot of people may consider him to be too old, but I honestly think that he could do it again. And he's still, like I was saying, I think he's still in good shape. You know. Lightning brings Jason back. It's not necessarily necessary. People. Well, yeah, Lightning did bring him back, but as I was saying, like Tommy and his friend like dug his grave up, so it's kind of in a way that like their fault, like why he came back. But in Part 6. Bring back Derek Mears. Yeah, I love Derek Mears, man. He's got a massive neck. You know, he did pretty good. But would I consider him to be better than Kane Hodder? Probably not. I mean, I think Kane Hodder is just, I don't know what it is about Kane Hodder that I like. You know, it's just his intensity that he brings, to the character. It's just something with it's just something that I just really like. He's just my favorite. Like I don't know why. Like I said, it's just because his intensity he brings. When he does something, he really does it. Like he puts in so much work. He does it more. He does it more differently than other people, like other stuntmen. Like Russell T didn't rain back Jason with lightning to drop it. No, no, no. He's talking about in part six, when Tommy and his friend or whatever dug Jason's grave up. So yeah, that's what he was talking about. He wasn't talking about uh, part seven. He was talking about part six when Tommy dug Jason's grave up, and then the lightning brought Jason back. So yeah, I definitely do think it was Tommy's fault, because had he not, if he didn't dig the grave up, and he didn't dig him up, like dig his grave up or whatever, he wouldn't have came back probably. He got when that lightning struck. That's when basically he came back. So I kind of blame Tommy for that. No, and Jason Lives is actually Tommy Jarvis is played by Tom Matthews. Corey Feldman was in part 4. You're thinking. Because yeah, there was a different actor, Tom Matthews, that played Tommy in part 6. So you're thinking of part 4. Russell did just say part 6, so that's why I said that about Tina has been pretty much to get back alive because of Tina. Part 7. Yes, yes. Yep. For sure. For sure. I know what you mean. Yeah, I was just basically explaining it. So Jason basically came back because Tommy dug him up in part 6. And then the lightning struck, so then that brought him back. And then, like what you're saying, yeah, Tina brought Jason back with her powers or whatever. Okay, save Tommy Jarvis from. There's actually a different Tommy Jarvis, a different actor in part 5 as well. And his name is. Let me see his name real quick. But yeah, it was a different actor in part 5 as well that played Tommy. It wasn't the same Tommy that was in part 6. Wow. One minute here. I'm just gonna take a look real quick just to see if I could intentionally find. Um, I gotta play time. Oh, John Shepard. John Shepard was the one that played Tommy in Part 5, not Tom Matthews. So it was a different actor. So Tom Matthews was the one that played him in Part 6. That's the one that's obviously in the game, in Friday the 13th, the game. But then John Shepard, the actor named John Shepard, played him in Part 5. So there's two different actors that, you know. Okay, I always get confused with Tom Matthews. Yeah, because Tom Matthews from Part 6 is actually the one that portrays Tommy Jarvis in the video game. So he's the one from Part 6. Tom Matthews. And it's actually the real actor. He actually got scanned into the game. I think it takes a while for Jason. I think it takes a while for Jason to heal. That's why he stayed in the lake a long time after Part 6. Tina pretty much helped Jason heal faster. Yeah, pretty much. Because, yeah, Tina basically brought him back with her powers and all that. So, well, obviously in Part 6, he got struck by lightning. So that's what really brought him back. But Tina pretty much helped him heal. So that's basically why he came back. So, yeah, I agree with that. I heard that they're remaking the Friday the 13th game. Really? I actually just seen that, I thought. Maybe I'm tripping because I thought I've seen that. So they're actually doing a part 2? Wow. Are you serious? Dude, oh my god, that's awesome. I didn't hear that news. Because I knew that they were probably going to do that because, of the lawsuit. Because they couldn't update the game that we have. So I kind of figured, I heard rumors circulating that they could possibly make a part 2 to the game. And just add all the skins, all the new skins, like Jason X, all the maps that we didn't get, the remake Jason, possibly the Jason from Freddy vs. Jason. Wow. I actually heard that too, but I didn't know. Wow, the news just came out. It says, wow, dude, that's so fucking awesome. Sorry for cussing. But I actually heard about that. I think I just read an article about it. Because I heard a while back, a few years ago, I think it was, people were making, kind of speculating about them because the lawsuit kind of ruined, the game that we have now. So I heard that they were going to make a part 2 to it, because where they could actually just update and actually add, the new skins that we didn't get. So that makes a lot of sense. Wow. Sorry for cussing, but wow, that's sick. So it says the issues with Friday the 13th rights appear to have been resolved. So yeah, obviously the rights issues have been resolved. So as Jason will return in an all-new TV series in the works at Peacock. Meanwhile, it's been revealed a new Friday the 13th video game is also in the works. Wow. Dude, that's awesome. So Gun Media has confirmed that Friday the 13th the game will no longer be for sale after 2023, and servers will shut down. Uh, servers will shut down at the end of 2024. The game publisher Gun Media has announced that their license for Friday the 13th the game expires at the end of the year, at the end of this year. So somebody else is actually making. So at the end of part 6, Tommy puts the chain on Jason's neck, and then Megan cuts Jason's neck open with bolt blades. And so maybe that hurt Jason and put him in like a coma. So you're talking about, yeah, at the end of part 6, yeah. So that's basically what happened. So what happened is that Jason basically was in a coma, but Tina brought him back, probably from, like you said, probably like healed him even more, like. So yeah, it's probably why he comes back initially, like why he that explains why he came back, because Tina probably healed him, like you were saying. So Gun Media's license to make Friday the 13th games ends this year, this December. If they make it, it has to be one made, and then if they need to renew the contract. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I've been hearing that it's actually going to be, that's actually in the works, and I think Harry Manfredini had revealed that. I think Harry Manfredini is the one that I think he was in part 4 of Friday the 13th, I believe. I think he was in Friday the 13th part 4. I think he's a lawyer. He's a lawyer, I think, and he was actually giving us updates about like the lawsuit and all that. But yeah, I heard a lot of rumors circulating when the lawsuit happened, that when it's over, will they make a part 2 or whatever to the game? I don't know if it's going to be a part 2 or if it's just going to be Friday the 13th the game. You would assume that they would call it part 2, but I had heard that could be a possibility, since that the lawsuit kind of ruined the current game that we have. I said that there's a possibility that they could remake the game and just add all the skins that we didn't get, into, skins that we didn't get in the current game that we have because of the lawsuit, obviously. So I kind of thought that would be, a possibility that they would do that. And it sounds pretty reasonable. It sounds pretty accurate, I think. That's why I'm not getting the Friday the 13th game right now, because it'd be a waste of money if the game doesn't work after 2024. Yeah, I've actually had the game ever since. I've actually had it downloaded for a while, and I occasionally play it here and there. But I don't play it all that much. It's just like it's kind of unfortunate with the lawsuit and all that. It's kind of unfortunate with the lawsuit. What happened with that? It kind of stopped everything, all the maps that we were going to get, all the skins that we were going to get, it kind of ruined the game a lot. So it's not really. I mean, it's fun, but I don't really play it as much anymore like I used to. Harry Manfredini is a composer. That's right. Harry Manfredini was the one that was battling with Sean Cunningham. That's right. I'm thinking of somebody else that's a lawyer. Um, that was he was actually it was actually an actor from Friday the 13th Part 4. That was basically like a I think he was a lawyer, and he was the one that was um, keeping us updated about the lawsuit. So yeah, I forgot. Yeah, Harry Manfredini is the composer, the guy who made the music. Yeah, because he was the one that was battling with Sean Cunningham for the rights. So in part 8, Jason comes back because of electricity in the water. He's always coming back somehow. It's like Jason's always getting saved somehow. And Jason goes to hell after being blown up. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like he could survive anything, you know. He could survive anything unless the final girl, the main person, you know, miraculously just on that brings him back on accident. But yeah, he could basically come back from anything. Like he could get blown up. He could burn in a fire, like in part 7. Yeah, part 8, he basically came back from electricity, like you said. So I mean, he could basically come back from anything. But maybe the thing is, maybe that's what started it. Maybe part 6 was the leading cause of that. Maybe because the lightning struck Jason, and obviously that's how he came back, because Tommy was digging up his grave or whatever. Maybe that's how Tommy started that. And that's how he could miraculously just come back from electricity. Was you a counselor or Jason? You're asking if I was a counselor or Jason? I was a little bit of both. Sometimes I'll be a counselor, sometimes I'll be Jason. It's fun playing as Jason, like, especially online against people. It's always fun to be the killer. Chasing the survivors like other people online. But sometimes it's also fun being a counselor, like trying to basically survive. It's also fun to kind of like survive Jason as well. But I love being Jason, and I've been a little bit of both. Like I said, sometimes I'd be Jason, sometimes I'd be a counselor, because I play online and I also play offline as well. So I play, sometimes I play just against bots or whatever, just to get a little practice. Hey, oh, welcome back, Blucka. No, Victor Miller was fighting Shock. Was it Victor Miller? I think you're right. Maybe I'm thinking of. Let's see here. That's right. Victor Miller was the one. Yeah, I'm thinking of another person. Yeah, Victor Miller was the one in the battle with Sean Cunningham for the rights. Man, I'm way off. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, because yeah, that makes a lot of sense now. Because yeah, this article actually says Victor Miller. That's right. I don't know how I forgot that, but this is what made F-13 video games so good. You could fight back. Exactly, like you could basically do anything to Jason, you know. Basically anything to Jason. You could take off his mask, you could try to kill him, do whatever. You're thinking the guy who plays Shelly of Part 3 of the lawyer. Yes. That was the guy I was talking about, yes. The guy that basically played the guy who plays Shelly. He's a lawyer. He was the one that was keeping us basically, updated about the lawsuit and all that. Yeah, Shelly, that's right. That's the character's name. I remember when they first added breakdance into Friday the 13th video game. You could dodge Jason's attacks with certain dance moves. It was hilarious. Oh, I know. You could do like different dance moves and all that. Some people be doing that like online. Be like trolling each other and doing that type of stuff. It's kind of funny. In the video game, yeah. Friday the 13th video game was so much fun. The Dead by Daylight was Sally F-13 is dead. Yeah, I think Friday the 13th the video game is dead, unless they revive it, obviously, and remake the game. I really think that's really I really do think that that's a possibility. I really do think that's a possibility. I think that hearing the news, from Harry Manfredini and supposedly, making, like, I don't know what company is going to be remaking it. But yeah, Harry Manfredini is obviously going to be involved. I guess I don't know if he's the one who's basically given. I don't know what company is going to be making it, because obviously Gun Media. I don't know if Gun Media is still going to be making it, or if it's going to be another company or what. But it sounds like it's going to be another company. Oh, how's it going, Jamie Hart? How you doing? Like I said, we're just talking about some Friday the 13th and the franchise. Thank you for popping in. Really appreciate it. Do you know why Jason doesn't try to possess other bodies in Jason X? Instead, he lets his body get frozen in a tank for like 3,000 years, probably, instead of trying to bring his body back to life. Oh yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah, like he was basically in a frozen. He lets his body basically get frozen and all that for 3,000 years. Yeah. I love Jason X. It's a really good movie. But yeah, he basically lets his body get frozen for 3,000 years. Jason goes to hell. Yeah, like how he basically, instead of trying to bring his body back, and Jason goes to hell. Yep. And Jamie Hart, yeah. Doesn't Gun Media have something to do with the Texas Chainsaw game? Yep. Gun Media actually, they made the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game, and it's actually coming out on August the 18th. So it comes out in a few weeks. Probably about I would probably say maybe like 4 weeks, 3 weeks at the most. But yeah, it's coming out very soon. Yep. It just gets me thinking, like, what else? What other game are they gonna make? Are they gonna make a Halloween video game? Are they? I really think that they could. I think I always said that it's a possibility. I don't think anyone can make F-13 video games since 3 people own the rights. Yeah, I just kind of I don't really know either. Like I don't really know who would be willing to make it. Honestly, um, I just don't really know who would be willing to make it. You know what I'm saying? Like I really don't know. I can't really think of any other game company that would make a good game. Because I don't know if Gun Media would be involved again, maybe, but unless they got that settled. Yeah, they got that settled. Yeah, they got that settled. That's why they're making another one. That's what happened in the first place. There was a lawsuit going on. That's why we haven't got any movies in a while, because of the lawsuit. And there was a rights issue going on. Victor Miller was fighting Sean Cunningham for the rights to the film. So, and then they actually got settled. I'm doing my social butterfly thing tonight, trying to jump in to like as many streams as I can. Oh yeah, thank you. I really appreciate you. You're awesome. I'm glad that you popped in. Like I said, we're just talking about Friday the 13th here. Thank you for popping in. I really appreciate you, seriously. What did Jason do on Saturday the 14th? Probably nothing. He probably just sits in his house and probably waits until, counselors and students and like teenagers come to the camp. That's probably really all he does. Probably cooks. He probably eats animals. Probably cooks animals in the woods. Probably kills animals. He can't be guarding the nose forever. Oh, I know. But he's a zombie though. I'll snatch some of the lettuce. He's probably eating some lettuce. He's like I said, he's probably eating some. He's probably eating some animals in the woods. Probably killing them with his machete, eating their brains. Yeah, I think the Texas Chainsaw game will be part of Game Pass on Xbox when it comes out. Yeah, it's actually available to pre-order right now. I actually have a PS5, and it's actually available right now to pre-order. So I think I'm gonna pre-order it here probably soon. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre game looks so bad, but it's actually pretty fun to play. They need to make the objective more challenging. Yeah, they do. Like I feel like more games need to be like that. Like I think Friday the 13th the game is more. Was pretty more. It was challenging. I think. I guess we'll have to see how it plays out because it is made by Gun Media. So I guess we'll have to see how it plays out. I think if I remember, Jason could only come back after being. I think I exploded if someone eats his heart. He can come back as it goes into that, so maybe that's why. Yeah, I think so too. I definitely think that if somebody eats his heart, he comes back as a ghost. Because that's basically what Jason Goes to Hell basically, tells us. So they should just show a bunch of college students in a boat partying, and they hear a boat paddling, and look over, and it's just Jason, the dead him staring them down as his boat flies by into the mist. Oh, dude, that would be pretty creepy, to say the least. That would be pretty creepy, if honest. I'm not sure what other horror games they'll do, but I'm hoping for a Scream game. I am too, man. That's another game because there's so many things that you can do. With the Scream game. Like I was saying, so many things. Even a Halloween game. A Halloween game would be even more. Like that would be fun too, but I think a Scream game is a game that I really want because the who done it factor, you could add that, you could have that be a factor in the game, especially like being able to like take the costume off and all that, like as a survivor. Zombie Jason versus Michael Myers from Halloween. Who do you think would win? I would probably say Zombie Jason, just because Zombie Jason's more like brutal, and he can't die at all. He's hard to kill, and I think Zombie Jason's just more like he's more strong. He's stronger, in my opinion, than Michael from Halloween 6. But if it was the other way around, let's just say that Rob Zombie is Michael Myers. So Rob Zombie's version. What's to say that he was facing Jason? Well, I think Rob Zombie's version would destroy Jason. If it's Rob Zombie's Michael Myers, I think he would beat any Jason, like by far, like because he's like the most brutal. But yeah, I definitely think Zombie Jason would beat Michael Myers from Halloween 6. Make screen game just like the query, make your own decisions, surviving Ghostface. It could be fun. Oh, dude, that would be so fun. Like maybe, like I said, let's just say that you're Ghostface or something, and you basically could take off the costume, put it on, take it off. If you're like the killer or something, and people don't really know, but then you could like put it on again. You can make it like, say, like a Hitman style game, but like a Scream, like with phone calls and all that. You could add the Who Done It. I could see a Hellraiser or Saw video game, but Scream could really only do a version of Among Us. Yeah, and I think like Scream could have the style of I really think that um the style of Hitman or whatever, I mean that could fit for a Halloween game. more than anything, or like a GTA style game that could also fit a Halloween game, where you basically can free roam. Um, but I think a Scream game could work like that too, to where you could like unmask and all that. You could even have like a campaign or whatever. But you could definitely had that be in the game, like where you could take the mask off and the costume. Um, but it could be like a free roam kind of game too, or like I said, like a Hitman style, but like Scream. But like you can make it to a Scream game. Isn't Rob Zombie's Michael Myers a regular human though? Yeah, he's a regular human being, but like I was saying though, like his height and just the way that he kills people, or the way that how as brutal as he is, I always say that he can manhandle. He could definitely manhandle any Jason. That's just my opinion because Rob Zombie's version of Michael is 6'9". He's 6'9", 6'10", around there, and he's pretty brutal. So that's why, personally, I feel like if it was Rob Zombie's Michael, I definitely think he would destroy that version of Michael Myers would destroy like any Jason, like. But if it's just the regular, Jason, or the regular Michael Myers versus Jason, John Carpenter's version, I think Jason would destroy, John Carpenter's version, just because John Carpenter's version just ain't as brutal as Rob Zombie's version, And yes, so the zombie Jason would beat the regular Michael Myers, like John Carpenter's version. He would beat the Michael Myers in Part 6. But what I'm saying is I think Rob Zombie's version would beat any Jason because of his height, how brutal he is. Like, I think he's taller. He's taller than any Jason. I think he's even taller than Derek Mears. Derek Mears may be pretty tall, but I think Rob Zombie's Michael Myers version of Michael Myers is pretty tall. Well, technically, every version of Michael is supposed to be a human, but some directors, how to walk in line with supernatural, and some takes. Oh, I know. That's my problem, like, yeah. Like the time I was saying. Yeah, Salem's like a Halloween town, isn't it? It was fun to convince friends they were the killers, just mess with each other and saying they'll go at each other in the chat. That's funny. I wonder how good Jason is at I don't know. I don't think any version of Michael could win because he's willing to go toe to toe with people. Well, I disagree with that. Like, I just really think that Rob Zombie's version would absolutely destroy remake Jason. Like I said, any Jason, really. Just because of his height. And I think he's just the most brutal. Even like the prison version of Michael. He's supposed to be human and supernatural, but Halloween 6, he's more supernatural. Same with Halloween H2O and Resurrection. However, with David Gordon Green, he finally made Michael human and killable. Yeah, yeah, he did. But I just feel like, Rob Zombie is just. I just really think that Rob Zombie, his version could definitely destroy any Jason. That's just my opinion personally. Just because how tall. I mean, Tyler Mane, like I said, is like 6'10". You know, so he's like the tallest Michael Myers, I think, in the franchise by far. So I just think that he would beat any Jason. Yeah, he is. The Town of Salem was a web game that generated morale and mission events. Good and bad. Oh, okay. No one knew of the team of veteran talent ever. Okay. In the missions of that role. Yeah. That's very interesting. So it really, again, like Scream, where you gotta really use your wits when the liars and killers. Oh, wow. Wow. Is that a really good game? You said the Town of Salem? Wow. I'm definitely gonna have to try to play that. But alrighty, y'all. I think I'm gonna end the stream for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I definitely had a good time. We've been going for 3 hours. Wow. I've had a lot of fun, tonight. And I hope you guys, really have a great night. And like I said, in a few days, I'll be trying to go live. We'll be talking, Child's Play. It may be a little sooner, but I definitely want to go live again. And we're gonna basically talk about Child's Play. That's my plan in a couple days. So I hope you guys had a great night. I'm gonna be signing off here. Hope you guys, like I said, be sure to hit the like button and whatnot. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well. And be sure to look out for more streams. Like I said, we're going to be talking about Child's Play. We're going to be talking about all that stuff within a few days. But I hope you guys had a good night. And like I said, just be sure to look out for another stream. 1 minute. Let me try to. I haven't played Town of Salem. Oh, okay. Jason folded the man in bed. LOL. That's funny. So, talk about in Freddy vs. Jason. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like I was saying that I think Jason's the more entertaining. Like just the way he kills, the way he rips people's arms off, the way he punches people's heads off and all that. So the way he kills. But in terms of who's scarier, I think Michael is scarier. But anyways, y'all, I think I'm gonna, like I said, sign off here. I hope you guys had a great night. I am gonna be signing off. So I hope you guys had a great night. I definitely had a good time. Like I said, be sure to look out for another stream. Probably in a few days. But I hope you guys had a great night, and good night, everyone. See you in the next one.